My screen is visible. Screen visible है presentation form में.
Yes.
Okay. आप वेद और बाकी सब वेट कर रहे हैं मीटिंग में.
And chat enabled, right?
Yeah, I can see chat.
It's 9:01, so we can let people in. Pranay, can you hear me when we speak?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Can we start, sir?
Yeah, I think we should start.
Yeah, absolutely. It's already 9:03. We are 3 minutes late.
I think, but there are only 7 participants.
That's good. Short meeting for us.
No, there are.
Wait. Huh? About 40 members was just about 1 minute before, and they are gone.
I can see 46 people in the.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, now there are 45, 48. So can I start the introduction part, sir?
We can admit all, and then I'm just admitting everyone.
Yeah, sure.
Now we can start.
Sure. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Q3 FY24 post-result con call of Pakka Limited. I would like to welcome the management. We have Mr. Ved Krishna, Vice Chairman, Mr. Jagdeep Hira, Managing Director, Mr. Satish Chami Velumani, Business Head, Compostables Division, Mr. Ramji Subramanian, Innovation Head, Ms. Nitika Suryavanshi, CFO, and Mr. Sachin Kumar Srivastava, Company Secretary. Now I'd like to hand over to Mr. Ved Krishna for his opening remarks, followed by Q&A. Over to you, sir.
I'll request Pranay to start and bring me in, Pranay, where you need.
Yeah, sure. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Pakka Limited, I would like to welcome you to the investor call for Q3 of this financial year. I am Pranay and I'm leading the brand efforts here, and I would like you to go through the introduction part of the presentation.
Pranay, your voice is pretty low. Just.
Can you hear me? Okay.
We can hear you fine, Pranay. I think it may be Satish's connection. It's a little low, but it's fine.
Yeah, no, I can hear you well. It's just a little low. That's fine.
Okay. Okay. Right. So we'll start with a short video, which will tell our. Can I request the host to mute everyone else? Because
paper.
Yeah, lots of people are unmuted. Sachin, in case you are the host, please mute everybody. And then Pranay can unmute.
Yeah, thank you. So I would like to start with a short video outlining our vision and goals. And many of you might have seen this video before as well, but for the benefit of the new people or new shareholders or investors joining this call, we'd like to showcase what is our vision, and it's a refresher for everyone.
Pranay, there is no sound.
Is the sound coming now?
Yes. You're muted, Pranay. You're muted.
Sorry. So as outlined in the video, we start with a dream, and this dream is a cleaner planet. We aim to, so this planet has a lot of requirement for packaging, and there is about 600 billion worth of requirement, which is estimated to be there by the year 2030. And we plan to contribute towards this requirement with our regenerative and compostable offerings. And this is in the form of three verticals. One is food packaging, which is compostable paper-based flexible, which is made of compostable flexible paper-based materials, and food wrap and carry, which is from agri-waste, agri-fiber based. And one is food service. So food service is under the flagship brand of Chuck, which is compostable molded products. This is our plan for growth and impact. So we plan to expand the Ayodhya site to a turnover potential of $250 million by the year 2025. And we are also, we have in fact started work very aggressively on our North America and Americas operations with a facility in Guatemala with a turnover potential of about $750 million. We also had the pleasure of hosting some of you and some of our investors at our Ayodhya facility. So 24 investors visited, and they visited the factory. They witnessed, how these products are being made. They had an interaction with the leadership, with celebration of Smriti Devas, which is birthday of our founder, Mr. K.K. Chandrabala. The celebration is annually. So we also plan to do this investor visit to the plant annually, and we'll let you know when the next visit will happen. So with this, I will hand over to Ved for key updates on the international growth.
Thank you so much, Pranay, for that great opening. Yeah, you can keep clicking, and I'll keep at it with the international updates. So, of course, for our investors, a lot of movement in the last quarter on the international side, which I am part of now. And the big one that has happened in the last few weeks is the basic engineering kickoff. So we had about 5 companies bidding for the basic engineering for our Guatemala plant. We finalized the engineers for that. It's a company called CTE, which has done about 180 units across the world, and that is extremely competent. And we've had a kickoff meeting with them as of last week. The contract was done in early Jan, and then we did a kickoff meeting last week in Guatemala, and that is on way now, and we've started doing the basic engineering. Next, please. There is tie-ups that have been initiated for both food services and flexible-based materials. We've already got 3 commitments for offtakes. But apart from that, what we are also doing is we are introducing our products in the North American marketplace starting in the next 3 months, basically because the Guatemala plant will take 2 years to build. But we find that we should seed the market before. So those tie-ups have already happened. Some are from Colombia and the others are from Thailand. And they will again start taking root in the next 3 to 6 months, and you'll start seeing some financials coming in the year. We have, as I informed last quarter, the land was finalized, and now we have moved forward. We've started doing the allocation in terms of how the buildings will come up on the land. But apart from that, before we get the tax exemptions, we need to do a land environmental study. That is already, the contract has been given, and the work is also underway. The strategic partnerships for equity have begun. We've got a lot of interest and traction. We've been on calls regularly with numerous strategic interest partners from the North American space and some from the South American space. So lots of different discussions. I was in Colombia last week, again talking to one of our partners there for coming into this project. The business leads in US, as I said, in the next 3 months, we'll start putting material into the North American space. Eduardo, our CEO in the Americas, and me, we have been interviewing people left, right, and center. And now we have a few people shortlisted to take the lead for Pakka in the North American space. And it is really, really strong profile. So we are very excited to get them on board in the next, within this quarter. And the last update is that the operational and the project tie-up has been initiated. There is a lot of, because we have not operated in this Latin American space, we feel that it's important to have a partner, local partner here. And we've already initiated that dialogue. They've already started coming in and helping us on numerous forums. And as time passes, they will also become part of the equity table. So that's it from me for the international this. I'll hand over to Jagdeep for the India business.
So, good morning all. I'm Jagdeep Hira, looking and responsible for Indian business growth. Molded, so this is a fantastic news for all of us. Molded business have been a turnaround for this quarter. So we showed a net profitability of 1.75 CR. New product development on the wrap and carry side. We are the first one in domestic virgin fiber to launch 22 GSM as a wrap. So this is also a great news for this quarter, what team has done. Consistently, we have been nominated and certified by CIA as a noteworthy water efficient unit. So this is third in row now. Export volumes, we were doing around 24 till last year. We did 32% in last quarter. And again, we are expanding heavily on the molded as well. So we have increased the shareholding of molded from industry, paper industry to molded manufacturer. So this has gone up to around 47% now, increase by 2% year-on-year basis. And next. So on the production side, just to give you a glimpse of productivity. So we have 5% growth year-on-year basis, 9 months versus last year's 9 months, around 5% growth. And 21% growth in molded on the productivity. A bit declined by 4% in Q3 since because of market conditions, FMCG is going slow and the global impact in export. On revenue side, we are higher by 3% year-on-year basis. Quarter was a bit low because of two uncertainties. FMCG is going low, market, international market going slow, and the imports becoming stronger and stronger from 18%. Last quarter was 43% imports. So PBT again from year-on-year basis is around 1% higher than last year and a bit low on Q3. EBITDA again, if you see year-on-year basis is 2% higher and around 1.2%, 1.8% lower in Q3 versus Q2. So on the Jagriti side, we are going on the front foot now. So PM3, paper machine 3, which we call, the idea is to refurbish this machine and make more of a wrap and pack grade. From 70 tons, we are looking at 80 tons on a daily basis. The order has been finalized with state-of-art machinery from Europe, who have almost more than 100 reference cases on the machine setup globally. On paper machine 4 for 100 tons of flexible packaging. So techno-commercial proposals bidding participation have been there by 4 of technological partners from Europe and 2 from China. Power plant, whole of the infrastructure we look for own generation, the order has been finalized. So thanks very much, and I'll hand over to Satish.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everybody. And thank you very much for joining in. Well, a lot of effort went into compostables. As our MD just announced, we have turned around the business quite a bit. But the highlight for this month, the last quarter and this month, this quarter, is what you see at the Ayodhya Rama Temple, right? So we have been handpicked as the partners in their sustainability journey. where you see the Chuck logo in this picture, you would see Chuck products being used as the vessels for offering. All right, this is a big achievement from the team. This also shows the confidence that not just the markets, but also the government authorities have in our products and the business. So this is a very proud moment for all of us. And let's move on to the next slide, Pranay. In terms of revenue, compared to, again, so we see a 26% growth compared to the last quarter. Last quarter, we were at 12.17 crores for the quarter. And in third quarter, we hit 15.35 crores. This is, again, we are facing a lot of headwinds from the market, but considering the headwinds, a 26% increase quarter over quarter is a great number. And similarly, compared to last year, again, this is 9 months FY24 number, we are up by 7%. This is about 41.5 crores compared to 39 crores last year, same period. So, and here comes the big number. This is a great swing. The quarterly profits, again, this is not just the EBITDA, this is the PBT. We had a huge swing of about 2.5 crores compared to the last quarter. And compared to same period last year, we had a 5.5 or 5.6 crore swing, which puts us at, again, we are broken even. We are actually positive for the first 9 months of this quarter, of this financial year. I believe strongly that we would end the year with a positive bottom line, and also this quarter with a positive bottom line. And this is the future projections that we are working on. Why we are continuing to grow is because of our strength in production is increasing, right? Ayodhya, which used to be about 170, 180 metric tons last year, per month is at 270 metric tons, right? Our productivity is increasing significantly. Fantastic work by the team, great leadership from our plant as well. We are already at about 270 metric tons from Ayodhya, and additional 100 metric tons we are outsourcing from domestic facilities. This includes launching of 2 new products. There's a 4CP product and a 360 ml product that's being launched. And in order to meet the increasing demand, we are seeking additional 300 metric tons, which would, again, if you look at Ayodhya's capacity today, we are in discussions with factories outside of India to bring in 300 metric tons. In the first quarter of next financial year, which should be in April-May time period, we will be at about 670 to 700 metric tons of capacity, which is, again, 2.25x than what we have today. So there's a lot of work that is going into capacity increase, and you do see the sales increase there as well. Pranay? And we are also in the process of launching a new program called Regenerative Partnerships. And there are 3 parts to this program. One is offering all the products that are used by a large player, right? It could be a QSR, it could be an industrial catering, it could be an airline caterer. So we're working with a lot of people to provide them with end-to-end products. But the kicker is providing an end-of-life solution as well, right? It's not just about the products that you use to serve, but what happens after the food is consumed. We are looking at that. We are providing them a solution. Plus, while they do all of these, we are also trying to get them a carbon accounting and sustainability reporting via a digital platform. we have had discussions with a few large customers. I don't want to reveal the names yet, but things look very positive there. So this is a new program that we have kickstarted. Hopefully, in the next 2 quarters, we will see the results of it. So that brings the end of compostable presentation. I'm going to hand this over to Ramji now.
I think Pranay somehow got off, so I think, yeah, he started.
Okay, he's back.
Thanks, Satish, and good morning to all of you. Innovation updates, and we are going forward for the launch of cutleries. We have done the commercial trials, which have been successful. We have all the certifications also for from the perspectives of migrations, as well as testings and orders as well. And everything is cleared, and we will be going forward for the commercialization. And that, as we speak, we are progressing towards it, and the target will be the starting of the next quarter. The second one is on the beverage cups, which is again bagasse-based, and our own recipes and prototypes are ready, and the launch is planned again for the first quarter of, which is the next month, in the first quarter of the next year, financial year. And next one on the compostable flexible packaging. As you can see that there are new different products that we are testing, and with the NDAs in place, we are going for multiple customers, medium and big, and we are going for the trials for these products. The second one of this is the commercial. We have the commercial success in terms of the chocolate product, and we also announced that we have now the 12-month shelf life completed successfully without any, and the product is absolutely stable. The third is on the prototype with high barrier non-metallized structure that is also ready, and we are very happy to see that, and we'll be scaling it up in the next quarter. The last one is on the patents. We are filing the patents on the structure, design, and the recipes in both the products that are coming up in the flexi as well as the ready space. And with that, I give Nitika the space to move on.
Thank you, Ramji. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for all your support and wishes. I know some of you have been constantly in touch with me, and finally we have the shares released. I'll hand it over back to Pranay now.
Thank you, everyone, for your updates. And I would like to open the session for question and answers. Just a few ground rules so that everyone gets a chance to ask their question is that please limit your questions to 2 per person. You can also keep posting your questions on the chat, and we will keep responding back either live or on chat. Please press the raise hand button from the reactions button on your Zoom panel to ask a question so that I can manage it better. The first question is from Captain Vishal, and over to you, Captain Vishal. You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
My question is for Mr. Jagdeep. I was just seeing paper has always been a strength. So, if I see the revenues from the paper segment, in December 2022, we were approximately at 102 crores. In September 2023, the revenues from the paper segment was at 95 crores. And in this quarter, we've dropped to 86 crores only in the paper segment. So what is the reason for this, consistent fall in the revenues from the paper segment? Because that has always been a strength.
Yeah, Captain, exactly. The market has totally changed as I briefed. Imports have been a dominating factor in the scenario in the market scenario, which used to be around, just to give you a glimpse, it used to be around 18 to 20% of imports, which has raised to 46% imports now, one factor. Second is, as we strategically, as we see, we have moved from around 24% to 32% for exports. So, taking not much on the hit on the business side, we strategically moved to exports. But this is going up now. The market has shown some glimpse going upward trend, and we hope to see that makeup is in the fourth quarter.
Okay,
Also,
I
just
get
to
that.
supplement, Vishal, just to supplement Jagdeep, there was a planned shutdown in this quarter. So that took away about 10 days of production. So that also lowered the turnover.
So quarter on quarter, Captain, in case we have to see, it may shift from second quarter to third quarter or fourth quarter, the annual shut. So we take up power plant shut for 10 days. So that fall for this year in third quarter.
Okay, understood. My second question, again, I think you can answer it. I would like to know now, we are looking at the increase in our turnover to roughly about 1,200 crores in the next, say, 6 quarters. So have we added any new clients, especially in the flexible packaging segment, since we are, expanding big time on that? So any addition of new clients?
Yeah, we are working.
If not, then how do we, plan to achieve the revenue of 1,200 crores?
No, we have already started it, both sides, globally also and internationally as well. So now we have the customer in our portfolio who consumes wrap and carry as well as flexible both.
Okay, got it.
Also, again, supplementing, Vishal, and then we'll have to move on to the next questions. Supplementing Jagdeep. So basically, the 1,200 crore projection is post the project Jagrati. So there is a little delay. So it won't be 6 quarters. It'll be a little more than that. But yeah, the idea is that at least the FY25-26 should reflect it. So that's what the team is working towards. And that's where the big jump comes, when we actually start producing flexible packaging at a certain scale. Right now, it's still very, very rudimentary because we are having to use outsourced facilities, which means, and I know that in the chat also there are some questions around that. So what we are doing is that we are trying to experiment, go to the market and do trials. At the scale will only be reached when we actually set up the production units. So as Jagdeep is saying, there are customers we are breaking through, but the actual change in that significant turnover will come once Jagrati starts producing. But yeah, let's move to the next questions.
Yeah, thank you. Next question I'll take from chat from Mr. Saurabh Khara. What is the sustainable EBITDA margin of compostable business? That is the first question. He has second question, which is research and development status for coming 2 to 4 years. And the third question is why compostable business is growing at a very slow rate. So maybe Satish, you can take first and third, and then maybe Ramji can take the second question.
I will. Thank you for the question. I believe we would be anywhere between 40 to 20% on the sustainable EBITDA level, not for the compostables business moving forward. And on the third question, so the growth of compostables business is driven by our ability to provide the capacity that is required, right? Outsourcing operations have been pretty slow, and now we have gone overseas. So that again, in India, you don't see a lot of larger plants that would give the capacity that is required. Whereas overseas, you do have plants that are coming in with much larger capacities than our Indian counterparts. The reason why we are bullish about increased revenues in the next quarters is because of those partnerships that are coming in from outside, and the growth, the slow growth, has been attributed to our limitations in closing outsourcing partners in domestic.
Ranji, can you take the second question of research and development status for 2 to 4 years?
The research and development status is that we are looking at as majorly on the flexible packaging, and that deals with looking at multiple. We are looking at essentially product backwards. You're looking at different, working with different products as well as increasing the volumes significantly. So that's the major focus that we are targeting upon, for which we are at the back end. Our product backwards approach, we are working with different approaches, both at the pilot as well as the big scales. The second one, in terms of the cutleries, is also about, as well as the rigid, it's about introduction of new products, as well as, again, going significantly with higher volumes. And our backend was also search and development is also focused on.
I'll just supplement. Sorry, Pranay, I'll just supplement Ramji, because the question was for the next 2 to 4 years. So of course, we are extremely bullish on our innovations. And like Ramji said, few of the focus areas are flexible packaging. So the version 1 was launched last year. The version 2 is almost ready. I think in the next couple of quarters, we are experimenting with version 2, which changes some of the IPs within the product. But if you look at the next 2 to 4 years, again, like Ramji said, the core focus is on food services and food packaging. And there is various experimentations that are happening with global collaborations. So we are building something in North America. We are trying to build something in other parts of the world. In fact, as of tomorrow, we will have a very, very strong board of advisors coming in from across the world with various disciplines. Ramji, of course, has been really strongly building the team in Bangalore, moving into IASC in hopefully the next 2 quarters, trying to get a place there. So that basically means that we will have much more of an incubation mechanism where we can incubate others as well, which means there is a lot of tie-ups with startups. So if we look at the next 2 to 4 years, the target is to keep moving towards better biomaterials in all spaces, better performance for the customer, and reduced cost for the customers as well. So those are the 3 broad pockets that we are working on. Ramji, I hope that is okay with you for addition. Thanks.
Thank you. Next question is from Mr. Parth Kyada. Mr. Parth, you can go ahead with your question. You have raised your hand in the chat. Mr. Parth, you can unmute yourself.
Yes. Hello, good morning, sir. This is my question to Mr. Ramji, that I have come across one of your product, like it was made of surgical tray, which was made of bagasse, as well as some of the other products, which were also made of bagasse, like hardware products, which are used for packaging, right? So are there any plannings to go with products apart from food category?
Mr. Parth, I'll take that question. First, I think we never launched any medical trays or something like that. So the only focus remains with the food packaging, and that too with the food contact, which we call as a primary packaging.
We have 600 Parth. We have a 600 billion market to tackle. Once we tackle that, we can look into other products like medical packaging or other packaging. Yeah, no, basically the answer, as Jagdeep said, is no, not at all. Not moving away from food services or food packaging.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next question is from Mr. Himish. When are the pledge shares expected to be released? So I will answer, and they are released, like Nitika has already mentioned. Date of commencement of expansion plan in Ayodhya. That is the second question. And the third question is expected funding for US or Guatemala operations.
So I'll take the first, Pranay.
Yes.
The expected commissioning of this Jagriti project, which the project, we call it a Jagriti. should be in second and third quarter, in between second and third quarter next year.
Right.
And I'll take the next one. And the project in North America and Guatemala is called Project Kawok. And I won't get into the name so much, but it is a Mayan name that we have called it by. And the funding there is going further. And the idea is to raise the equity by the middle of this year, June, July. Debt is already spoken for. So the banks are just waiting for the equity to come in. And the target for us is June, July for the equity. So I think by the time we meet in July, August, we hope that we will give you the positive news for that.
Thank you. Next question is from Mr. Ravi. He's a passionate retail investor and is a big fan of our company. So thank you for that. And his first question is that compostable flexible packaging, he says that we have spent around 10 years in research and we call it as a magic. I'm not asking this from a competition point of view, but I really want to know how good is Pakka's solution compared to other leading players?
It's Ravi, right, Pranay? The name
yes,
was?
Ravi.
Yeah. So Ravi, thank you so much again for being a passionate supporter of the organization. Yeah, lots of time spent. I think when we started back in 2014-15, looking at different products, this was one of the first. So yeah, we've done a lot of experimentation. It's very early to say exactly how we kind of fare against so-called comparative products. But that said, when Ramji's team is working at it, they look at it from various domains. The first and foremost being performance. Because if you think of packaging, the dharma of packaging is to protect what is inside. So if we don't do our jobs in protection, everything else is secondary. So for us, the mantra, the dharma is protect what is inside, and that includes shelf life, that includes puncture resistance, that includes moisture resistance, oxygen resistance, all of that, which is not an easy thing to track. So it's a huge compliment to Ramji and the team for being able to kind of create products which are actually very, very challenging to be able to create. Now, that said, we are at the stage where we have commercialized. We are looking at scaling. We are working with some very, very interesting companies today and very interesting applications. And I'm hoping that in the next quarter, if all goes well for Ramji, his smile will be even bigger and he will be launching a few products. It is a challenging discipline, but of course, it keeps us very, very excited. Again, I can't answer your question exactly in terms of whether we can replace a material which has been in existence for 70 years very quickly, but we are 100% sure we will. And the question is just how quickly can we do that? And that's what we are working for. Ramji, in case you have any additions.
I do agree with that and totally endorsing your thought, but it's also we are also looking into the cost angle, into the efficiency angle, into the scale angle, and into the circularity as well as compostability. So it's a big aim and target, and as Dave was pointing out, we are trying to achieve it at the shortest possible time period.
His second question is on the performance, and I'll read the question verbatim. In the investor presentation in July, we had projected to reach a revenue of about 550 crores for FY24. When specific question was asked in the last conference call, Mr. Jagdeep had responded that we would be able to achieve this target, though we had made just around 211 crores. After Q3, we have made around 310 crores. At this rate, we'll probably reach the same figure of last FY, even though we had given 50% growth target for this FY. I can understand plus minus 10% variance, but this is way off the target. Even last financial year, we could only make 72 crores PBT against publicly stated of 100 crores. While I appreciate and understand need to set and aspire for higher targets, it could also mislead investors and ultimately lose trust and confidence in the management words, especially when we are nowhere close to targets. What actually went wrong? Where was that 150 crores supposed to come from if we are running close to max capacity?
So I'll take this, Pranay, because I indicated the investors of meeting those ambitious target what we have set earlier. So we probably might be around 80, in between 85 to 90% of what we have taken the target in start of the year. The market dynamics have totally changed since last four and a half months. We were very bullish to meet those targets going forward in third and fourth quarter, which has not happened. So our team is out there to push further beyond this revise. I would not say revise, but again, the projected uh, growth in the coming days to come. Where we have gone wrong, I think, as Satish mentioned, we were very optimistic on getting onto the outsourced partnership for the molded, which got delayed. One. Second, as I stated, the market has not really supported. FMCGs, all FMCGs converters are going very low on the offtakes. That's why we have to shift our focus from domestic market to international market, where we have pushed almost 8% higher in growth. We do understand the pain point, and we do understand the concern of the investor on the statements made earlier. But having said that, we also take privilege, and we also take a much confidence on the investor that what we see will definitely try and meet the expectation of what we say earlier. So we should be touching around 85 to 90% of target this year, and that's the hope. Because market's still low, but we see a bit of a growth right now. Still not up to the mark what we could see early during start of this year. Hope I made it clear.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Next question is from Mrs. Samit. You have raised your hand. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hi, very good morning, and thank you, for giving me an opportunity to ask a question. I really appreciate the team, and I'm also a very passionate investor for the company, and I really missed the visit. In fact, I read pretty late about this Ayodhya visit. You know, there are a couple of things I was just thinking about, right? So I see, I have used this product. In fact, I wanted to give my experience. Sorry. I wanted to give my experience, about this product, how I, got into this product actually. It was my kid's birthday, and we wanted to order some disposable stuff. And from Insta, basically one of the Swiggy app, we ordered, the disposable plates and everything. And when I got this product at home, I was like, wow, what is this product about? And I just saw the name Chuk, sorry, that limited. I said, is this Chuk a listed company? So, and which is this company who products this Chuk, right? And I saw, and that's what I encountered this company, and that was in October last year. So I was really fascinated, with the products, and I then started researching more about this, about the plates and the balls that that they're giving. Uh, so I think it's a great product, 100%. I think biodegradable. If I am correct, there's no plastic being used. And I also read about how this company entered into Ayodhya, with the chief minister, with the discussion. They don't want any plastic, 100% biodegradable, and that's why this company was selected. I believe that was one of the article that I read. So my thought was, and my question also was, uh, if if I believe like everybody tomorrow will be looking into such kind of products, which is like biodegradable, 100% economic friendly, no plastic use, isn't there going to be more demand for these products going on? Because one of the primary raw material that we are using is bagasse, which is the which you get plenty in the place Ayodhya. And I think that's also one of the reasons that you have you're putting a factory in US because of the availability of the raw material. So my point is, how going forward you think such products, right, will part of your turnover, will bring, that percentage of your turnover. That was mine, and something more related on these products if you want to say. Thank you.
Sure, I'll plug in there. Thank you so much, Samit. The idea for us as a team here and as a business is driven by a singular fact. How do we do meaningful work in our lives and leave the planet cleaner? That's a single driving force for the team here and beyond us, the entire team at Pakka. With that in mind, we've taken upon two broad directions: food services and food packaging. So you've experienced the food services side. I hope that you'll keep experiencing the food packaging side as well. We do expect significant growth. I agree. In our opinion, there are 1.4 billion people in India. They all eat 3 times a day. They could all be eating in disposables. So that's the possible market size. But that said, if you look at disposables, that itself is a huge market. And we do hope that people will stop harming themselves by eating in polystyrene or any kind of polymer that is carcinogen generating. So we are on that mission. And of course, the idea is to make all products that are terrestrial animal safe, marine animal safe, compostable, recyclable in the paper stream, because paper stream recyclable is over 70 to 80%, whereas polymer is 7 to 8%, which is a very different scenario. So that's what we are driven by. Of course, we are also driven by the fact that we have to scale. So Jagdeep, of course, talked about the project that we are doing in India. We are trying to tie up more of flexible packaging. Satish talked about how he's trying to bring in materials from outsourced sites. You talked about the plans in North America. So yes, the idea is to work on the known. And Ramji has also talked about the unknown. So we work on numerous disciplines to be able to plug all this in. By the end of our lives, hopefully, we have another 20, 30 years. For all of us, we are of similar age, all of us here. So the way we think about it is that hopefully we would have done a significant impact, and at least in that 600 billion opportunity, we would be at least at maybe 1 or 2%. That would be a good thing to have achieved. So thank you so much for that.
Sure. So I have another point. If I can take one more point, Ved.
That's on Pranay.
Sure, Pranay. Yeah. So yeah. So one more, just a point. So also I was wanted to know, because of Ayodhya temple and the factory being close to the Ayodhya within the 10 kilometers, that's what I've understood from the Ayodhya temple, that is. How much your molded stuff, will help you? Because I saw there is a huge demand. I mean, something like 20 lakh people are been attending the temple, and I'm sure the prasad and everything they must be distributing in your cups, the disposable 100%. And sorry, my apology. So how much that really helped? Is there a significant help in your profitability, in your turnover because of this mandir? And the more sale of this disposable? That is one point I was wanted to know. The second thing also I wanted to talk about, I'm just a thought, you can take it. There are hundreds and thousands of farmers in India which uses cow dung actually, and they use all plastic as a packaging. So I was just talking with one of them. What they were also looking at is there is some packaging which comes with cow dung, and it can just immerse with the soil. That means you don't have to remove the packaging. It just they throw away with the packaging as is 100% biodegradable, and it can immerse with the soil. Is there something? There is a lot of people, they're looking at such kind of thing where there is no plastic involved, like as your molded stuff, and that can be used as a packaging. I'll stop here for any thought.
Thank you. I'll keep it short. So Ayodhya is both a boon and a responsibility for us. We belong to Ayodhya, the main plant. That's our mother unit. We want Ayodhya to be very, very clean. Thankfully, the government is very aligned on that thought process. So the way we are working with the Ayodhya Trust is not just providing material, but also finding ways to compost food waste and packaging waste. Not just is it using our compostable materials, it's also using a lot of our paper. All the prasad, like you mentioned, is actually our paper bags. So a lot of that is also being used, but you have to understand the quantum that we produce. So we produce almost 10 lakh pieces a day. Fundamentally, Ayodhya is using, Satish can tell the right number, but maybe 3 to 4 lakh pieces a month, Satish, something like that. So Satish, how much do you know? How much would Ayodhya be?
We are looking at a business of about 40 lakh coming from the.
So that's significant. So it's about 4 days of production, Ayodhya. But that said, more than that, it is our backyard. We definitely want to make sure that it's actually kept well. So thankfully, the government is very aligned with that thought. And we'll continue to support Ayodhya, not just with products, but also how do we generate the right end of use. On the cow dung side, we have too much on our platter to actually look at things like that. We want to clean up the food services and the food packaging, and then maybe there's some time left in our lives for something else, we do that. But there is really enough to tackle for all of us here to just clean up the food services and packaging.
Thank you so much. Thank you, team. Appreciate all your time.
Thank you. Next is a related question. What's our plan and strategy on targeting religious pilgrimages, just like we did in Ayodhya? How many such places have you identified and the progress on the same? Also, can you share the expected sales we can achieve by 2025 from this on annual basis?
I'll take that. So Ayodhya has been in the news, but even in the previous quarters, we have also mentioned that we have been working with Vaishno Devi temple, which is a shrine board. So we are making our inroads there. I cannot put a specific number against it because that's driven by multiple factors, such as their requirement, our ability to meet the demand at the given time. But in a nutshell, you could say shrine board, Ayodhya temple, and also ISKCON has been a long-time customer as well. So those are the three major religious bodies that we work with, and we will continue to pursue other opportunities. I cannot put a number against it. This will become a part of the next year's plan, which we are working on.
Thank you. Next question is to Ramji. What is the metric tons of chocolate packaging launched and prices at which it is sold? Further, how this will be scaled and what are the monthly target volumes?
The first pointer here, as Ved was mentioning earlier, we have given the version 1 of the packaging, what we are targeting. And as we move forward, multiple versions are coming up. Number 2, in terms of the square meter per square meter, we are at the present moment we are around 35, and we are looking significant reductions as we move forward in terms of the pricing. In terms of volumes, we have as of now over the next 2 years we are targeting around 10 to 50 tons, and then as we move forward 3 years time period, we are looking at 1,000 tons as well.
Yeah, so just adding on, Ramji, Doc, they'll make you a commercial person. so anyways, supplementing, just supporting my friend here, is that when he says 35 rupees, it is 35. Typically, the way a customer measures it is not by kg. They measure it by the square meterage. And that's what Ramji means by 35 rupees a square meter. But you have to compare it with the current substrate, which are at about 22 to 25, Ramji?
Right around 20.
Yeah, so 20 is the polymer-based substrate. So there's a significant gap. So of course, this is at a very low scale. So the target for us is to bring it down to under 26 is what Ramji is targeting in the next few months. And yeah, so of course, we are establishing a 33,000 ton plant in 2 years. So of course, we want to sell that much at least, but the scope of sale is enormous. There is no end to it. It's just a question of how competent we are.
So just a time check with Ved. Would you want to continue with the questions?
I think 15 minutes max.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a very, very early morning tomorrow. So I'll have to step out in 15 minutes. Then it's over to Jagdeep, Satish, and Ramji if they want to continue.
Sure. So next question is from the chat itself. Ved has mentioned that there is about equity strategic partnership. Please throw some light on it. Are we planning some equity stake sale or something else? What is the PAT as a percentage of revenue we are aiming for post Ayodhya plant and Guatemala plant?
So lots of forward-looking statements there, so I can only throw that much light. There is no equity dilution when it goes to Guatemala. So Guatemala, the way it is structured is that Pakka Limited, India, which is your company, it owns Pakka Inc., which is the US company, 100%. And Pakka Inc. owns Pakka Guatemala. So that's the structure that we have. The idea for us is to dilute the stake of Pakka Limited in Pakka Inc. So hopefully the dilution will remain minimal. That depends on the valuations we are able to generate, the partner that we are trying to bring in is buoyant, and it ultimately depends on the kind of confidence we are able to generate in the investor. But the effort is to have no recourse to India. So of course, Pakka Limited will not hold any kind of corporate guarantee or anything like that for that project. So that is the effort. We are still early. Let the first anchor investor come. There is numerous discussions happening. There is a lot of interest. There's a lot of positivity. So we'll see. In terms of PAT, again, difficult to say. It's too early to commit to anything, and we would not want to give any kind of figure where we don't know. The idea, of course, remains to remain at the EBITDA levels of about 25% is how we tackle when we look at new projects. That we try and look at an IRR of about 20%. We look at an EBITDA level of about 25%. But that's it. Best laid plans can go awry. Of course, we are learning through our experiences, and hopefully we've learned our lessons and we'll do a little better as we go along.
Thank you. Mr. Jinesh, you can ask your question. You've raised your hand.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. The first question is on the paper segment. I'd like to ask what are our competitors in such kind of paper? As far as I've talked with various distributors across India, so no one said that no company is as competent and equivalent to Pakka Limited. Yash का paper से अच्छा कोई paper नहीं आता. Just wanted your view. What do you think? Like, is there any company who is equally competent to you in the Indian market specifically?
So thanks, Dinesh. I think we don't feel a competitiveness in the market and the customers we serve. But yes, we want to remain competitive. Having said that, on holistic of wrap and pack, where we are focusing towards a singular goal going forward, and what we are dwelling upon, we don't see any parity among the industry who has a defined goal of remaining on the food packaging. There are industries where we compare the results and where we compare the performance, but actually we don't see that heat coming up from the competition as such.
Okay, thank you. And the next question is, as we see the issues of Red Sea coming in, and there is a lot of shortage of waste paper, for which there is a shortage of craft paper in India, and the rates are going up. So have you seen any increment in our realizations of craft paper which we sell in the last week or month maybe?
So the total dynamics, to give you a thorough of business and the globe market, since last so many months, the total scenario have changed. Waste paper, recycled paper, pricing shifting from as low as $190 to $330 as such. But we are not really concerned about those factors. We are very dedicated to the customer. Customer have been with us over decades now. So we are very confined to what quality parameters is their requirement. Having said that, there is a slight glimpse of a market shift going forward, as total industry is being dominated by European and US pulp demand, which seems to be going up now.
Okay, fine. Thank you. And the last question on packaging side, have we added new products? Like last con call, we are in talks with HUL for sachets of shampoos. And also the last con call we have mentioned that there is cost competitiveness which is associated with plastic packaging and paper packaging. So any clue on that how we'll crack the plastic packaging versus a paper packaging with that cost effectiveness?
Yeah, I think in the previous question, Ramji tried to explain the comparative cost. We certainly are looking for a better proposition or an equivalent proposition of what products are there in the market. For shampoo sachets, we are really not going very forward as of now because the focus remains in the food packaging. And the chocolate and nitty-gritty is the one segment which we have chosen as a first step. And then we'll see coming out with the product serving big MNCs and big brands.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And just a last question, if you permit.
Jinesh, can I request?
Yeah,
because
Pranay, you'll have to.
Yeah, we
Okay,
have
fine.
to give
Thank you. Yeah,
chance to
Thank
others.
you. Mr. Gaurav Sharma, you can go ahead with your question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pranay. So I heard this thing many times in this investor con call, like there is some capacity constraint on our revenue. So like you said many times that we are looking to outsource our production. So there is some risk associated with that as well. So how are you looking to address that? If at all you don't get that much of capacity from outsourcing, then how will you address this issue?
Mr. Gaurav, we have a surplus pulp as a raw material, and strategically what we have chosen is because Ayodhya plant would be full in its capacities. Rather going for an investment at our end, we have thought of going asset light, where we will be supplying the raw material to mold manufacturer. And as Satish gave his presentation, so 350 ton is one we are looking at as total, and internationally also we are tying up with multiple partners who can supply us quality products. So we don't see fallback there, but we have to be very fast on the decision making, whichever unit we choose.
So is it the same for the molded products as well? Like for molded products also, are you looking to outsource it?
So I was talking about the molded products only.
Right, right.
Yeah, right
So
now
we
we
must,
are experimenting.
yeah.
Sorry.
So we must be having some IP rights as well, right? For this like packaging and like designing and all that. So are we getting some royalty out of it? If at all we are looking to outsource it to someone?
So on to you first. I was talking about the molded products only. For flexible, we are contracting some outlets where we are experimenting and putting up a commercial production out of there. The chemistry is ours, the base is ours. We till the Jagriti is up and running, we are doing that sort of market know-how to have a market know-how to just make a customer portfolio entry. We are doing that. I think that's it.
Okay,
Thank you.
That answers
Thank you,
it.
Gaurav.
Yeah.
Next question is from Mr. Chiranjeev Kohli. You can Charanjeev Kohli, sorry. You can ask your question.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. My question is first, let me give you a bit of background. I did one peer review of the company with the similar companies, although you don't have direct competitor. So I did complete review. One particular finding which I have, that is with respect to tax rate. So tax rate which Pakka is paying, that is something with respect to the highest in among the peers. There is delta of something like 250 to 300 bips. So you are paying the highest ones. So my question is, have you noted this thing, and is there something which we can optimize your tax rate so that it goes into the bottom line?
Nitika, would you like to take that question?
Sure, sir. Actually, we were availing some benefits of MAT in the past, which have now been expired. So we are paying this percentages. However, I will double check and see, but we've done our prudence on this for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next question is Ace Aim Enterprise. Please elaborate your plans on biodegradable polymer segment. Ramzi, can you take the question?
As Ved was, I think Ved has already given the brief of it. Essentially, we are looking into flexible and rigid packaging alternatives or biocompostable packaging as well as services. As from a product perspective, we are looking at a product backward approach, looking at multiple materials, performances, and of course the costings and at scales. So that's the bigger picture that we have. And I think it has already been communicated clearly by Ved. If there is anything specific, I am ready to answer it.
Sure. I'll move to the next question, Ramji, for you again. The cup prototype developed has same angles as market available shapes. It's a question. And what is the tentative price of cutlery developed?
Yes, it has got. It is absolutely new in designs, and the character of the cup is coming up with the new designs as well as comparative pricing. And from the characteristics of it in terms of the designs, it is comparable to the market ones. The second one is on the cutleries, and on the cutlery side, we are looking at, and again, the version we will be optimizing it. We are starting up at around 1.5 rupees per piece, but we are still working on to better it even lower it at a faster pace.
Thank you. Next question is from Mr. Hiren. Whether Pakka management expects substantial equity dilution for Guatemala project, whether existing Pakka shareholders will retain equity for Guatemala project or new equity investor will be provided considerable stake for investment.
Already answered, Pranay. It's a repetition.
All right. I will also skip some of the already answered questions. Okay, so there is a question from Mr. Chinmay Nima. Could you provide breakdown? Could you provide the breakdown between institutional sales versus retail sales? Second question
Pranay,
is,
could you take if there is any question for me, if you could take, because I will need to log off in 2 minutes. I don't know what Jagdeep's and Satish's timing is, but yeah.
I do have a hard stop in 5 as well.
5 minutes. So let's wrap it up in 5 minutes. And,
yes.
Yeah.
No way, I do not see any other questions from you, and these are like I think last few questions, couple of questions that we have.
So I will take off. Can I say thank you and take off? I have a very early morning tomorrow. So thank you all so much for joining in. I'm taking off, but my colleagues are there for another 5 minutes, and look forward to seeing you again in the next quarter.
Thank you, Ved. So Satish, I think all these questions are for you only. So could you provide the breakdown between institutional sales and retail sales? Could you talk about the nature of contracts with institutional clients, length of contracts, when are these renewed, etc.? What's your wallet share with the institutional clients? What percentage of containers used by KFC in India supplied by you? And institutional clients addition in 9 months of this year versus last year?
That's a a lot of questions, but I can tell you our retail sales, especially the D2C, is at about 10% as on date. The rest of the stuff reaches institutions that are big, small, and medium-sized, and they reach through multiple channels. It could be direct from our partners, partners through resellers, but eventually they end up at the institutions. Could be large QSRs, small QSRs, and so on and so forth. So that was on the percentage of retail versus institutional sale. What are the other questions, Pranay? There are like a bunch of questions loaded in one.
Yeah, so he's asking nature of contracts with the institutional clients.
So these are predominantly 1-year contracts, and that helps both of us, especially with us, to work on the price fluctuations as well as the volume fluctuations, and they get renewed. And these are only with very large institutions, right? Not the smaller and mid-sized ones, even though they are regular. We do not have contracts with them, and contract is a double-edged sword. So with larger customers, we do get into a 1-year contract.
Right. Then wallet share for institutional clients. Percentage
I don't think there's a finite number that we can put on, at least at this point of time, because it varies quite a bit. But the target is to get to 100% with our regenerative partnerships.
Yeah. And then institutional clients addition in the 9 months.
I can't. There are a lot that we have added, but again, our top 10 customers continue to be the same. While we have added Rebel Foods, Cure Foods, and right now we are also working with Amazon. So there are quite a few of additions. I don't think I could list all of them here.
Sure. I think that's it from the questions point of view. Just a clarification on pledged release of shares. So the order has been placed for pledge of release, and Nitika has clarified in terms of the procedure following the order for release of pledge over the chat. And once this order is executed, the share pledged will be released. So thank you everyone for joining this call, and we thank you for your support. And I thank everyone from Pakka team as well for answering all the questions from the investors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.